could have supported her for that. So what do you think, Caleb?
Mm-hmm. So again, I'm one who does not believe in intersectionality. Time and time again, we've been allied with different groups, and they haven't shown the same loyalty. Yeah. So in this particular group, I mean, my issue with I am one who has always supported the LGBT community's rights, and I have a problem. I mean, I have a problem with them going after Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? So they've continuously gone after Dave Chappelle and attacked Dave Chappelle for his comedy routines. I have an issue with that. I mean, there's been different times where they have demonstrated a lack of support for our community.
Yeah, and the fact that our community, the Black community, put one of their members in the city council.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone should have been enough for them to acknowledge and respect Mayor Taylor's picture being hung in the chamber.
You know, when I was reading about this protest, I looked at it from a different set of lens, in that it's almost ironic that this protest has come up when a lot of Black women in high-level positions are being attacked and invited to remove themselves from positions because of these attacks. And so I thought it was this very, very interesting. And to your point, this is the first Black mayor, whether female or male, who was mayor of San Antonio. So historically, her picture should go up. And to protest that she did not agree with some legislation is almost ludicrous. It's kind of like, really? So unfortunately, I just feel that the alignment to what we're seeing right now of these women, these Black women who are being attacked by various groups and almost forcing them to remove themselves from position, the timing is all off. The timing is all off. Or maybe the timing is on purpose. But Mayor Ivy Taylor, former president of Rusk College, she deserves to be on those walls in the council chambers.
You know, you make an interesting point, because I think weeks past, we've talked about the attack at Harvard of different Black women. And Caleb, I think you shared with us recently another Black at Harvard was under attack, female.
Number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
And it also, there's, again, and then that's just at Harvard. So we also have the abuse of the sister who ended up ultimately committing suicide. We have the other sister who was under attack, who ended up resigning from the Monticello committee. And so, I mean, it seems like it's just ongoing, this attack against Black women. And so for them to step into that space and to join on that side of the crowd, who traditionally has not been supportive of that community, it's surprising, and it's not only surprising, but it's regrettable.
You know, imagine that made Jalen, he's the city councilman, Jalen Rodriguez, a little nervous because he's up for re-election in 2025. And you know, almost, I could say this, almost anywhere where there is a concentration of Black votes, it's with the Black women.
Oh, yeah.
They vote. Yeah. And so here's part of his constituency is the LGBTQ movement and everything. Right. And he is gay. So, you know, if these Black women remember what they did against Ivy Taylor, that might not make him too comfortable next year.
He sits at the intersection of those two communities. And so, yeah, they may have been some discomfort for him. And so, you know, it's just, I'd love to hear how he feels about it. I'd love to hear a statement from him as far as that protest. And so,
Don't you think he should make a statement?
I think he should. I think he should because again, he sits at the nexus of these two communities, and I think it'd be great for him to assume leadership as someone who can talk to both communities and talk through the situation, and who probably who's better suited than anyone. Because, like I said, he was the successor to her seat. He understands her history. He understands the legacy. He's very prominent politician within the city of San Antonio. And so, if nothing else, leadership is about bringing diverse communities together. And so, he should be able to talk through this, and I think he should.
Yeah, and they were happy. Their community was happy when we were electing him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he should have to make some kind of statement.
Mm-hmm.
Silence. Well, I don't know if I can say this.
Right.
Is silence kind of a indication that he supported them?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, I think I think that him, like I said, in this situation, a lot of times silence speaks volumes. But I'm not saying that he should have to choose between one community or the other. But I think that he's one who could build a bridge between those communities and bring us together and help us work through this. Work through both the feelings on both sides. You know what I mean? Someone who says, okay, you know what? We understood the legislation that she did not support, and we understand that. Also, there's a historical aspect to this, to her being the first African-American woman or the first African-American mayor of this major city. And so, let's talk through this. And that's what leadership is about. It's about bridging those gaps through communication and bringing all sides together. And so I think that he has been out there in the community, and he's shown leadership. And I think this is something he should take up as part of his mantle.
Okay, but they put him in that position where he may have to take one of the. They did that to him, right? By taking on and asking that Mayor Taylor's picture not be put up there, which I'm sure ticked off a lot of black people. So they did that. He should have gone to those folks and said, "Hey, look, be cool. Don't do this."
Well, I don't want to make him the leader of the gay community.
No, not the leader. Well, in a way, he is, because I don't know if there are any other gay people on the city council.
I don't know, but I don't want to say I don't want to assume that he speaks for the entire community.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right. No, but I'm just saying.
In a private meeting, he should have said to those, "Don't do that, because you put me in a tough position."
Right.
But I convinced these folks to vote for me, being a gay man, even though a lot of that community don't like gay people.
Right. No, but again, I don't know. I don't want to speak to his ability to summon, people together and have that conversation. But and again, I think, we voted for him a lot on his merit, and so and he won our trust once again when he was reelected, based on his performance and based on his merit. But again, a part of evaluating performance is about the leadership that you exhibit. And so in this, something like this, on this issue, it would be fantastic for him to demonstrate that leadership and to bring the two communities together and have a deep and meaningful conversation so that we can resolve some issues and again, just like I say, just bring clarification to the issue.
When I think about this, they disrespected us. They disrespected the hell out of us, because they say, we're going to do this against this black woman, and they're dumb enough to not do anything, and they'll reelect him. They disrespected us. What do you think? Anybody want to?
I don't want to say. Again,
they disrespected us.
We can't say that he won't be reelected, because there are more issues that he brings to the table, and so that he is dealt with within the community. And again, we judge him not solely based on his
one issue.
Yeah. And so again, I'm not sure that. And I can see your point. Don't get me wrong. I can see your point where it was a lot of times people do take us for granted. They take our votes for granted, and so and they may think that we're powerless and there's not going to be any repercussions for their activities.
Right.
And so I do definitely understand that. I definitely understand that point. But as far as Councilman McKinnis,
Rodriguez.
Okay. Councilman Rodriguez. Again, he.
It would be good for him to say something.
Yeah, I think he should definitely assume leadership on this.
And make a statement about his position.
Yeah, we'll welcome him onto the show.
Oh yeah,
Come on to the show and
and hopefully there'll be some folks out there that will force it on him next year when he runs. They'll remind him these folks disrespected someone that we respect, and that was Mayor Ivy Taylor. And what was your position on it? Yeah.
well, we're going to invite him to be proactive and come on to the show sooner rather than later. Don't come on when it's time to get elected.
No,
come on right now, and let's build those bridges and talk about these issues and resolve these issues between our communities. So we welcome you onto the show. And so anybody, if you're watching this, reach out to him and let him know that he has an open invitation, and we will make room for him to come onto the show so we can discuss this issue.
And we don't want a second in command. We want him.
Yeah, we want him. And so as I know his communication director, I sat on a panel with her, wonderful woman, beautiful culture from Kenya, wonderful. But we want you to come on and speak for yourself, Jalen.
Because at this point, we don't know if he supported this black woman's picture being hung where it should be, as every other mayor has done. We need to know what he feels about that, because I think for Black America, or Black San Antonio, that was important. That was very important.
Yeah, it was very symbolic,
Yeah.
highly symbolic. And so, we definitely need him to come on.
Okay, all right. Anything else on that hot topic?
No, let's go to the next one.
Okay. Well, you just anxious to get to your.
I got a lot to say.
You're anxious to get to this woman singing country in
I
Western
got a lot
music.
to say. on last week's show, before I get to Beyonce, it's going to segue easily into this one. On last week's show, I was wearing similar attire. And there was a comment that was made, well, doesn't she know that this is Black History Month? And I said, that is not the question you want to ask me. So before we get to Beyonce, I am going to talk about, the outfit. This, to me, I'm having a lot of fun this month wearing my boots and stuff. But Black people have been involved in the country Western segment for a long, long time. In fact, I'm going to kind of tell you what the term cowboy came from, especially in Texas. In Texas, white men who were working on these plantations or farms were called cow hands. But the Black men who were working on the same facilities were called cowboys. So I'm going to celebrate the cowboys because they have done they don't get the recognition that they should get, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of Black history. When we think about the rodeo, we tend to look at the white people who participate in the rodeo, but we don't celebrate the Black rodeo as much as we should. So to that person who put that comment out there, I want to thank you for putting it out there, because it caused me to realize this is a discussion that we just don't have. So let's segue over to Beyonce.
Okay.
Again, historically, Black people have been involved in country music, Western music for a long, long time. In fact, the banjo is an African instrument that came over, and those slaves were playing this banjo. In fact, Thomas Jefferson recognized the contribution of that banjo in one of his papers, where he acknowledged that the banjo was an African instrument. So we got that. And then when you start looking at all of these white performers, Hank Williams and other folks, they learned how to play those instruments and guitar from Black folks, okay? There's been a colonization, if you will, of country and Western, to where the genre of music I enjoy listening to. It's a story that anybody can tell. Yes, it has changed from maybe the way we've heard it in the past to what we're hearing now, but there's a story that's being told. Beyonce has every right to sing country and western music. Come on, the girl was born in Houston, Texas, okay? At home of oil and everything. Her voice, if you really looking, I listened to about 3 or 4 of her songs. Her voice lends itself to the country and western style of singing. Dolly Parton, the queen of country and western, as far as I'm concerned, has applauded Beyonce's efforts in producing this album. So just crying about, well, they just want to come over here and mark their territory. The territory was already marked. The territory was already marked. She is going to open, the fact that her song, Texas Hold'em, is a #1 song already, and it has opened doors for other artists who are Black, who have been wanting to enter the genre. They're starting to come out more. Now, I know a lot of you probably have heard of, was it Huey and the Blowfish? Darius Rucker. You know, he had ventured out into the country and western world and did well. So stop the crying, because yes, it does look like Beyonce could become the queen of country and western during her period in being in country and western.
Well, didn't we raise hell when Elvis started singing rock and roll or rhythm and blues? Didn't we complain then?
No, not really. Not back
We
in
did-
that
we did
generation.
complain.
But I mean, they stole rock and roll. So
No, but I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we complained.
Yeah.
So
We
why are we
complained.
gonna blame white folks for complaining for Beyonce coming over and singing country?
y'all
Let them have
stole
their
rock and
country,
roll. We're gonna steal country.
huh? What?
We're gonna steal country.
You know, and again, I think that these radio stations who want to ban her music, fine, because we don't have to go on the radio. We just go stream put it on streaming services, and that's where this #1 piece is rising. Everybody, I mean, I've been on YouTube. I stay in YouTube, and a lot of white people are applauding Beyonce doing this album.
But why
So,
do we always put ourselves in that position? You know,
what do you mean position?
where white people have to say, "Well, we're going to ban you," or "We're not. This station's not going." Leave it alone. I mean, did she need that? She was doing pretty good singing what she was singing before. Why did she have to go over there?
But I'm going to take this argument. She's from Houston, Texas. She was probably already singing country and western prior to the stuff that we hear now. So it was probably, I believe it was already in her blood. It was just in time for her at the time to do what she's doing now.
Well,
So-
I can't speak to that because I don't know, but I know I wasn't from Houston, Texas. I was from Michigan. I don't know in the world I ever listened to any country western.
Well, see,
I didn't listen at all.
that's a cultural piece. That's a cultural piece.
When they say country western, I thought about racism.
Really?
Yeah, heck yeah.
And there's a lot of.
But everybody heard Charlie Pride.
I never listened to Charlie Pride.
never
I thought
listened to
something was
Charlie
wrong with him singing that stuff.
No, see, I
I
think
thought
it's
something was
all.
wrong. What's wrong with this brother?
I think it's all a cultural piece. There's racism, in country and western, to where when she applied to be a member of the Country and Western Association or something like that, she was denied.
She was denied,
I don't
wow.
know if she was denied because she was Beyonce or she was denied because she was a Black person. I think it was a combination of the two.
Well, why
Beyonce
put
did.
yourself in the position to be denied?
But-
That's my point.
but the
Why
point-
do that?
but the point I'm
she was
trying-
doing fine.
But the point I'm trying to say is it was already in her. I believe it was already in her
Fred,
blood.
you love being attacked. I'm gonna tell you, you don't understand the beehive.
What?
Beehive, make sure you
her
give me a
little
lot.
group, They
I
gonna
don't
attack
give a
you
da-
left
I
and
don't
right.
give a damn about that.
Beehive, go ahead and put a lot of hearts out there for me.
I could care less about that.
But
My
I
little
think
group
that
is gonna come after you.
I'm not a follower.
But when
Okay.
I listen to country and western music, and there are some good stories in there.
I don't even know how to find a country and western station.
You may have already listened to
No,
some of them,
no, I
but
guarantee I don't listen to
there's
stuff.
some great stories in there, and the stories that she is telling
Some great stories in
in
rhythm
the
and blues,
calculation. Well, we want to talk about it. There's a thin line between country and western and R&B.
Oh God, here
It's
we
a
go.
very,
Here
very,
we
very,
go.
very thin line.
My take is
I see that line.
music is something that's universal, and I listen to every kind of music, every genre. So music should bring folks together. And if she wants to do country, she has the right to do country.
I didn't say she did.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm not talking about you. So I celebrate her talent. She's a universal talent. So Beehive, don't come after me. But she's a universal talent.
Who
and
is Beehive?
that's her group, her
Her
supporters.
her fan
Her
base,
fan base, her group of
Oh,
supporters.
Beehive?
Yeah, they call herself Beehive.
And like Taylor Swift's fan base is called the Swifties.
Yeah. So, but no, I support her. I've always been a fan of hers. I support her. She's multi-talented, and so yeah. Hey, if she wants to do country, I'm there for it. If she decides to do opera, I'm there for it.
I was going to ask you that.
Whatever,
So
you
if she does opera, you're okay with that
I'm
too?
okay with it. She needs to showcase all her talent. If she has that God-given talent, show it. Put it on
I
display.
think that she need to leave opera.
Do
I
whatever.
don't think she has the range for opera.
Hey,
but
I'm
she
still
has,
with you,
she
Beehive.
has-
Whatever she can do.
but she has the range for country and western. I'm all for it. And again, I spent the last couple of days listening to some of that music. I said, okay, she's got it. She's got the range. She doesn't have that irritating twang, that we might associate with country and western. But the story is there.
But that twang isn't
I
that
love the
country and
twang.
western? That's part of country and
That
western.
was, but it's not there. But
That kind of
she's
southern twang.
but she's singing the story. You can hear the story. You can hear the story. You don't necessarily hear the story in contemporary
Couldn't you hear it in
hip hop
contemporary-
songs
Why couldn't you hear it in contemporary music?
because it's a little different genre. But you can hear the story there in the country and western, and I'm all about the story.
Yep. Be the Tiger Woods of country music. I'm for you. Go for it. I know white folks are like, every time we let them into something, but
Why don't you let those white folks have their thing? I mean,
they still got hockey.
let them have something.
They still got hockey.
everything, we take away from
They
those poor
still
white
have.
people.
They still have hockey. They still
We
have
take
hockey.
that if it's good.
They can have hockey. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they want a brother running down the field with a hockey stick.
But hockey. They can have hockey. Other than that, we let us in. We're in everywhere else. But
So
they
you're
can have hockey.
okay with them coming into
If they can compete.
rock and roll? And,
They've been in it.
Yeah,
rhythm and blues?
they've been jumping into rap music all the way back to when I was with the Beastie Boys. When in the '80s they jumped into rap music, and so no, they've been coming into hip hop genres, and they've been coming into R&B. You know what I mean? John B, one of the smoothest white boys in R&B. So they've been doing it for quite some time.
Let me
jumping
clarify
around
my
music.
position. I don't care. I don't give a darn about her doing whatever that music is, country or
Yeah.
western. That's up to her. But I have no desire. I'm happy listening to the Temptations, and Gladys Knight, and those folks. I don't need to listen to country and western.
Yeah, we understand that. That's just you just don't like country western. Period. So we
I
understand.
don't like what
Beehive,
it represents, the
yeah.
people it represents.
Right. So Beehive is not about Beyonce for my friend over here. He just doesn't like country music, so y'all can go easy on him. He just doesn't like country music.
Okay, I guess we need
good?
to wrap up. Final words.
Alrighty.
Want to start?
Yeah.
Caleb?
Oh, you know what? Just to Doc's point, though. Yeah, black folks have a long history ranching. In ranching, there's a lot of the original cowboys. You know what I mean? So we have a strong tradition. We have a strong tradition of through the Buffalo Soldiers. Just a long tradition in that community. So again, even the Lone Ranger was based on a black man who was a marshal. And so we have a long, rich tradition and history when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, study our history. And we are very aware. In this group, we are very aware that it's Black History Month. Trust me, if any other group is aware of that, we're aware of it. So,
Sid, you want?
Just to
This is
ditto,
your thing.
this is my day.
No, it's just your thing, Beyonce. So you want?
Like again, I applaud her for, I'm going to say, stepping into her roots. And I believe that this album is showcasing really her musical roots. So you got it. I applaud you. And again, study our history. It's there. It's rich.
Okay, so I guess I'm the odd man out. I don't like country and western. I'm satisfied, like I said, with the Temptations and Gladys Knight and our music, and they can have the country and western. So, with that said, this is Contemporary Black Voices telling our story, our way. Until next time.